And at this point in time, I'm going to turn the presentation over to Jesse, and he is going to help, or he's going to provide some instruction on contact with MAEFAIRS, the login and access.
All right, so a lot of you guys, actually all of you guys are going to need to be able to have access to MAEFAIRS, obviously, to be able to do all this training. So in order to do so, the first thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go out to our website, which is opi.mt.gov. On the front page, you'll see up top some icons. One says leadership. You're going to hover over that. Underneath there, you will see a section that says school finance. That'll bring you to the page where these links are located. They're not directly there. You got to scroll down a little bit. The one you want to find is the one that's in the red triangle, or sorry, rectangle here, the school finance access form. Download this PDF and save it to your computer. Next slide, please. This here is an example of what your school access request form is going to look like once it's filled out. Key thing here is there's some red triangles, or sorry, rectangles there. Please be sure to check the boxes that are appropriate to your role. If you don't know what those are, feel free to reach out to us. All of our contact information is throughout this presentation as well as on our website. And we'll help you get the right roles assigned to you. All right, so once you've filled that out, you want to make sure that you get your authorized representative to sign the form. Without this signed, I cannot process your request, and then we don't have you getting into MAEFAIRS. I believe if someone wants to help me out real quick, your district superintendent should be able to authorize any of these forms for you. If you don't have one, it was the treasurer. Is that correct? That they would reach out to? County treasurer? County superintendent, you would reach out for that authorized signature.
Can you go over where the form is located again, please?
Oh, yeah. So the form, once again, on the school finance section of the OPI website, you go to opi.mt.gov, hover over leadership, and you'll see school finance homepage there. Scroll down just about halfway through the page, and you'll see these links that you see on this slide. The school finance access form, by clicking it, it will actually take you directly to the PDF as well. From there, to pick where you want to save that. Once you have done that and you filled that out successfully, please send that back to the OPI School Finance email box, which is located on our front page, but also is opischoolfinance@mt.gov. Please allow 1 full business day for response to your request. Once I have processed that request and we have made sure that you have all the roles assigned to you that are necessary, you will receive a welcome email from me. Within that link is instructions on how to go to the MAEFAIRS login site, the process of resetting your password, as well as your username that is associated to the LE that you were assigned.
So Jesse, if we already have an account, do we need to fill this form out again?
You should not have to fill the form out again. A lot of people have problems because they go to sign into MAEFAIRS right now and they don't have access. It is a majority of the time because their passwords expired. They have not logged in the last 60 days. So they do expire. If they're having troubles from after resetting their password, they may have to be reassigned roles within MAEFAIRS. At that point, they can reach out to me and we go the route of troubleshooting why they don't have access. On this page here, this is once you go into login to MAEFAIRS, you will see that little, once again, this is not a triangle, it's a rectangle. You click on the login instructions. We'll get the next slide. This is going to bring up a page. Do some OCL user login instructions. These are quick help guides for you. If you're a new user, it'll give you direction. Also, if you've done it too many times, it gives you a way to fix those things. Also, once again, if you really are having too much trouble, you can reach out and we'll get you guys all taken care of.
All right. Now we're going to go back and look at the website a little bit. I do want to add one other item, just kind of a housekeeping thing, that we have 3 sessions to this presentation. We are not going to get through everything today. We are going to go through each part of the presentation, part today, part tomorrow morning, and part tomorrow afternoon. We're also recording it, so you'll be able to come back and look at it later also. So I wanted to make sure we have the expectation out there that we are not going through absolutely everything that we have in this presentation today. So to start with the website review, this particular page is the OPI homepage, and it's opi@mt.gov. Next, we'll go to the school finance webpage. We go to leadership, finance and grants, and school finance. This brings us to the school finance homepage. We have our email that you can send information to, questions, or if you're submitting forms, you can send it to opischoolfinance@mt.gov. All of us monitor that web email box, so that's a good place to send your information and your questions. One of the things that we recently added is we have new quick start guides. This was a request that we add information that would be pertinent to new county superintendents, new district superintendents, and new district clerks. So these are one-page guides that give very important information for you to know your first day on the job. And they may be updated as we go if we find out that there is something important that we have missed here. This is the main part of the school finance homepage. We're going to call these subject area tabs, and largely, but not exclusively, we will be looking at accounting and budgets. Down below, we have the application links. That is where you can log into MAEFAIRS, county, or pupil transportation. This is the login screen for MAEFAIRS. And MAEFAIRS stands for the Montana Automated Education Finance and Information Reporting System. After you have contacted Jesse to gain access into MAEFAIRS, this is how you're going to get there. This is on the accounting page, and we have these accordion files that are the subject areas of the accounting area at this point in time. You'll find at the bottom of every page, we have a link that takes you straight back to the school finance homepage. Those become very important as you're looking for data and a quick reference back. On the accounting webpage, we have our most accessed links, which are the school accounting manual, the chart of accounts, and ESSER consolidated guidance. Then we have other materials, miscellaneous fund worksheet, reconciling cash to the county treasurer, and the TFS instructions. Under other accounting resources, we have the teachers and PERS GASB 68 employer reports. We'll go over those later in the presentation. And then also we have the upload instructions, and we will go over some of that later in the presentation too, looking at those formats. Then we have the trustee financial summaries, and these are historical TFSs, and you can come to this website to refer to your previous ones. On the budget page, we have again accordion files with different subject areas. Under the budget reports, again, we have historical budget reports. And on the budget spreadsheets and guidance, we have the budget instructions. We have some helpful spreadsheets, and then also there are instructions for each of the funds. Those are good reference tools, and you can find those not only on the website, but you will be able to find those in MAEFAIRS too. The budget timeline is out here. If you click on the budget timeline fiscal year 2023, this is an example of what the budget timeline looks like. And I want to draw special attention over where it says the MCA statutes. And if you want to find out why you're having to do some of the things you're doing, you can refer to the statute that is listed in the timeline. Then we have the preliminary budget data reports. And again, those are items that you probably have already been looking at, but we do have historical ones out there. And now we transition to Andrea.
Okay, TFS instructions, here we go. You'll find these instructions again under the accounting subject area tabs under guidance and manuals. You'll also find the TFS instructions when you go into MAEFAIRS and you go across that top tab, the top blue tab, you see instructions, you click on that. TFS instructions is the first one, then you have budget instructions and a couple more. If you click those tabs, it's going to take you to the TFS instruction, the instruction page. And you can go to each different area if you want by just clicking on the particular area that you're looking for. Section 1 is just an introduction. On here, one thing I do want to point out, if you ever see anything in red, it's a good idea to read that because we read that. And we want you to read that because it's going to give you some specific instructions. Also, in there, you will see that you can send your questions to the OPI School Finance email. It's opischoolfinance@montana.gov. Also, we have everybody listed within our department and their phone numbers and their email if you want to call or send a question to us directly. The TFS instructions will step you through the TFS procedure and process. Section 2 just kind of gives you the guidelines for completing the TFS report, and it just kind of gives you the information that you're going to need to gather before you actually start doing the whole TFS process online. It's a good idea to sit down and fully read these instructions before you even start entering in data into the MAEFAIRS website. It's a good idea to read this just so that you can be sure that you have all the information you need so that you don't have to stop in the middle of something and go hunt something down and then come back. Step 3 is section 3 is the steps that you need to go through to actually start putting in your TFS report into MAEFAIRS.
All right, so now we're moving on to budget instructions. So beginning from the subject area tabs Barb and Andrea spoke about earlier, navigate to the budget. Under the budget spreadsheets and guidance, there's the FY23 budget instructions, and below that are the budget fund instructions. You can also find the budget fund instructions in MAEFAIRS in each individual fund budget when you're entering them. Also, the instructions for the budget can also be found in MAEFAIRS under instructions, under the budget instructions. So select the budget instructions link. The table of contents is interactive, and if a link is selected, it will navigate to the page that has that information. So there's not a lot of scrolling. Section 1 addresses who is required to submit a budget report and also has the OPI contacts to contact for information. Section 2 addresses steps that will be taken to prepare for the budget report. First, you're going to finish your TFS, and then you're going to gather the necessary documents. Section 3 begins the process with step 1. Remember to do the steps in order. MAEFAIRS was developed to work best when you follow the steps in order. And the good news, there's only 11 budgeted funds.
Woohoo!
Okay. We are going to start with TFS. The first step is the pre-filled data verification. So to get there, you would go into data entry, TFS, and then you select step 1, pre-filled data verification. Oh yeah, step 3, go back. You'll select whatever school you're working with, and then you want to print it to PDF, and it'll bring up the next screen. This is all your pre-filled data verification, which means that these are revenue funds that have already been entered, so you don't have to enter these. If you look at section 1, it says verify the following pre-filled fiscal year 2022 TFS amounts. And what you'll do is you'll go to your accounting software and you will look to see if your revenues match what revenues are stated here. I do want to point out that, again, read the information that is highlighted in red. The only one that's going to come up that may be a little different from yours is the revenue code 3115. This is going to, correct me if I'm wrong, change as you put in your 280 funds, your 280 revenue codes. Expenditures, I'm sorry. Thank you. It's a good idea also to print this pre-filled data verification page and have that handy, because as you enter in that information, you'll need to go back and forth to reference this. The second part of that is the fiscal year 2023 budget report. And again, these are the same revenue codes that you'll see on your preliminary budget data sheet.
I'm going to go back just for a moment to what's printed in red on there. If you don't match there, what you might look at is there are a handful of districts that will have reversions, or you might have a prior period adjustment that has not been done correctly. So those are a couple of things to look at if you have problems in that area.
Okay, once you verify your data, you're ready to move on to step 2.
So step 2 of the TFS is budget amendments and transfers. You can find the budget amendment packet, and it's located if you navigate from the subject area tabs to the budget spreadsheets and guidance. There is the budget amendment packet, which provides instructions on the steps required to complete a budget amendment. Budget amendments needed to be signed by June 30th to be included in TFS 2022. If you had a budget amendment that was signed, but you do not see it in step 2, please contact me immediately. On step 2, you'll select step 2. And then with your district selected, you will see the PRC that was assigned for the budget amendment. You should have received a letter from Office of Public Instruction that assigned the PRC code. It'll say what kind, whether it was a budget amendment or a transfer, the reason for the budget amendment or transfer, what fund it's in, and the amount of the budget amendment. In step 7, then when you're entering your expenditures on the TFS, you will enter the specific detailed expenditures and use the drop down for the reporter code for the associated detailed expenditures related to the budget amendment.
Okay, then we're gonna look at your accounting software. We have one to admit here. We're gonna look at the accounting software. So if we go TFS step 3 software, then what we'll see is your school will come up and you can see where it says the accounting package that is currently assigned. If you hit the edit button, then you will be able to modify that if necessary. The software packages are preloaded in the drop down, so you can make whatever necessary changes that you need to make and make sure that you click on save. So if an accounting software package is not listed or has changed names, email opischoolfinance@mt.gov or contact one of the following 3 people.
Okay, we're moving right along. We're all the way up to step 4, project reporter codes. To go back, you go into TFS, select step 4, project reporter codes. And these are used to report or to track your grants. What you'll do is you'll go in, select your school. One thing that you can do here is you can show your previous year programs. And that, if you select that, that will bring up a list of everything that you entered in last year. And from here, you can copy your last year's PRC codes to your current year. And to do that, you just go through your list. And let's say we want to copy over, which one did I copy over? Okay, you can select all of them if you'd like, but you just select the one you want and it will populate it back up into the, are we on? Look at that one, there you go. It will copy it up into the previous year, or not previous year, it'll take the previous year and copy it up into the current year. And you just want to be sure that you save it. Once you save it, you'll see that it's up in your current year PRC codes. We've also have entered in PRC codes for, or these are just titles actually. We've entered in titles for like your Title 1, Title 2, 3, etc. Anything in there that we have, you can put in the code you want, your PRC code, and then just select the title and save it. Project reporter codes are required for your miscellaneous programs fund. They're also required for school and student safety transfers, transformational learning transfers, and budget amendments and transfers. The only codes you cannot use, because they're reserved for OPI only, are the 900 level PRC codes.